I wanted to invite you personally. I hope I'm not wasting your time. Taehyung offered a smile, although Jungkook was confused. He still smiled back. Not at all. But invitation? For what? Taehyung shifted his seat and rubbed the back of his neck. Well, I wanted to tell you before coming Wednesday, it's my wedding ceremony, and I want you and Taehyung there. He told him nervously. Jungkook noticed his nervous state and hid a smile. So the brother was getting married too. Congratulations, man. That's great. I'm happy for you. Jungkook smiled. Thanks, I guess. He shrugged. Jungkook needed a fire for his brother's office, and he also needed to talk to him about the recent project. So instead of sending him, he decided to go himself. It had been 2 hours since Taehyung left and told him that Jungkook had informed Taehyung. Jungkook signed thinking about because he still need to seek Taehyung's forgiveness. He stopped outside the door and checked his wristwatch. He was about to talk inside when he heard a voice. We can make this work. What was she doing here? As far as he knows, Sophia didn't like Jungkook. So what was she doing inside his office? Jungkook leaned against the door and listening closely. What do you mean, Sophia? Please, elaborate. I'm quite busy right now. Jungkook could imagine his brother rolling his eyes. This, she said, you can get Taehyung and I can get what mine. Jungkook's whole body stiffed as he heard those words coming out his mind. What the hell was going on inside the room? What do you mean? Jungkook's voice was lagged with confusion. Look, that snatch him from me. Jungkook was always mine. Get out. Jungkook yelled. Jungkook, think about it. We can do this. This isn't a movie, Sophia. You're forgetting that one of them is my brother and other is the boy I loved. Now get out. That's when Jungkook decided to open the door. He was calm and cool rather than being angry. You heard him. Please leave, Jungkook said toward the door. Sophia was stormed out of the floor, and tears in her eyes, she sighed. What did his life turn into reality TV show? Jungkook was engrossed in the paper, and Jungkook seems that he was trying to avoid the topic. Jungkook didn't want to talk about him. He called his wife the love of my life, so he let it go. How's the real war going? Jungkook asked, placing the file on the table. It's good. One of the directors is being difficult about the prices, but I deal with him. Jungkook shrugged, opening his file that Jungkook placed in front of him. I had to leave for Spain today. Jungkook lifted his head and stared at his brother. What did he need to leave now? Why are you leaving again? You just come back from Italy. There wasn't any business trip scheduled for Spain at this time. Then why were Jungkook leaving? Have to deal with some stuff. Jungkook straight. Grabbing the file from the table, Jungkook was itched to ask the question. Are you going alone? Jungkook eyed the extra of the person. He narrowed his eyes. Yes. Jungkook nodded, and he formed at him in confusion. You fought with Tae, didn't you? Jungkook raised an eyebrow, and he narrowed his eyes as he snapped. None of your business. He was annoyed. He just didn't like Jungkook talk about Taehyung, and needed to understand that. Look, Taehyung, you can't always leave him alone. Drop it, Jungkook. This is not your concern, and I will deal with my problems. You don't have to worry about it. His voice was calm, but he seriously needed Jungkook to drop that subject. He didn't like to discuss Tae with him. Fine, do whatever you want. Don't come to me when he won't be there to you anymore. Jungkook muttered back to doing his work. Jungkook saw that red at that moment and slapped his hand against the desk, make the things of that rattle. He will always be there because he is mine, Jungkook. You better understand that, he said to him, and Jungkook looked at him horrified and nodded. All right, calm down. He lifted his hand in surrender. Jungkook shoved and walked out of the door. They switched on his phone and instantly started buzzing with the messages and notification. He was sick of his friend calling him and asking what was going in his life. As if the reporter weren't enough to make his life living hell. He feels so sad and this emotion were all over the place. They just needed a break for all the drama in his life. He just wished Jungkook would take him away for maybe some days, but he won't tell him what he wished. Beside, they were not on a best team with each other right now. He just had take 10 steps back whenever they tried to make their relationship 2 steps ahead. They were aware that Jungkook had a strong control over his temper, and he never lost it easily. He wasn't arrogant, and in nature, sometimes he let those characteristics rule his attention and then ruined everything. They didn't want or need to apologize for being rude. He just wanted to regret his action. He wanted to spend a good life with him. Signing it through the phone on the bed and walked out of the room. Jungkook had a small library in his mansion. They won't say that he had specifically paid for it, but he was more than happy to occupy his time in the library till he came back home. Once he came back, they would make coffee for both of them and enjoy their cold winter nights standing out the balcony and stare at the city lights. How poetic. Smiling, he shook his head and opened a book by his favorite writer. Half an hour into the big reading, and someone decided to disturb him. They jumped, and a knock sounded on the door. Because he was so engrossed in the book, he closed the book and placed a hand over his heart before letting out a sigh in relief. Getting from the coach, he walked over the door and opened it. Hi, Hun, he greeted the helper who stood in front of him with his hand crossed on his belly. Sir, Jungkook is waiting for you outside. They formed, waiting for him outside. What did that mean? Is he downstairs? They asked. He was in his nightwear. No, he's waiting for you in the car. Taehyung's eyes were pointed, and he stared at the man. He had got to be kidding. Tell him to wait for a few minutes. Jungkook was totally crazy. He was waiting for him in the car. When he was not properly dressed, he could have called him that he was on his way. Signing, he walked past the man and walked inside his own room. They took out a leather jeans and matched it with a peach color sweater with black shoes. It took him 15 minutes to get fully red, comb his hair. He grabbed his bag, wore the gloves, and ran out of the house. The cold air would nipped his skin off his cheeks and nose, making him shudder. They saw his husband was sitting in the car, talking to someone on the phone. They rolled his eyes. He was always on phone, never gave himself a break. As they reached the car, he opened the door and sat in the passenger seat. He was about to sit when he noticed that the seat, in fact, this was not empty. He caught Jungkook's attention as he picked up the huge bouquet of red and white flowers and sniffed them. A huge smile will light up his face, and he put down his lower lip, looking at him through his lashes. Jungkook had the softness of a smile on his lips, and he watched him. Taehyung picked up the petals of that flower and sniffed one again. They climbed up and sat close at the door before placing the flower in his lap.